We have Michael Patrick Leahy with us now. He's the CEO and editor-in-chief of the Tennessee Star. Michael, thanks for making the time for us. This is, I can't say it's hard to believe in America today, but it does show just how far the fight against the First Amendment has gone, and the way that journalists are not all rallying to your cause is not surprising, but it's still distressing. So you have been called, and this is about the the Nashville Trans Shooter Manifesto. You've written about some of this in the Tennessee Star, and you had to appear in court because the judge was threatening sanctions against your news organization. Tell us what's going on here.
Even worse than that, Buck. And thanks for having me on, by the way. Worse than that, I received on June 10th, my attorney received a show cause hearing order from Judge Lashia Miles, who's hearing the case in Nashville's Chancery Court, a case that we're a plaintiff in, where we and several others, including the Tennessee and the Tennessee Firearms Association, back in May of 2023, asked the judge to follow the Tennessee Public Records Act and release all of the writings of the Covenant killer, 28-year-old Audrey Elizabeth Hale, who killed 6 Nashville residents at the Covenant School on March 27th, 2023. So all of the writings from the killer have been turned over to the judge for her review. She's been reviewing them for about, a year, probably about 500 pages of 20 journals and one operational plan for the day that she carried out this task. I obtained legally on June 5th, or before June 5th, the 80 pages from one of those journals, the most recent one, and also some files from the criminal investigation record. And then we began writing stories based upon those pages from the journal, but we didn't publish any of them. We wrote stories, probably 20, 25 on those journals. We wrote a number of stories based on the other documents that we'd received that weren't under her review. And so out of the blue, last Monday evening, we got this order from the court. And she said the court sets a show cause hearing to determine why the alleged publication of certain purported documents by the Tennessee Star and Michael Patrick Leahy does not violate the orders of the court, subjecting them to contempt proceedings and sanctions. But the weird part about this, Buck, is earlier that day, in this order, the judge said the court received a media call requesting a comment or a statement regarding the Tennessee Star alleged publication of certain purported documents. That call was made to the judge from a reporter at WSMV television here, an NBC affiliate, Stacey Cameron, who we scooped. And apparently he was pretty mad about it, and he made false representations to the court. So that's how their hearing was set up. So I show up there yesterday to answer the court's claims. We didn't violate any court order. I had a terrific attorney, Daniel Horowitz, in the First Amendment specialist. I'd also been represented by Nick Berry, America First Legal, in the ongoing case. The judge heard from everybody else except for my attorney until the very end, and she talked about something entirely different. It wasn't a show cause order about me. It was to get the opinion of all the other people in the case, and there's like 20 lawyers, as to whether or not the fact that we had published stories based upon these 80 pages, whether she still should render a decision. My attorney got up and at the very end, at 7 minutes, and tried to ask the judge, now, what was that order that you said we violated? She shut him down. She was very rude to him. I was denied the privilege of being represented by my attorney by her conduct. He did a good job. But the bottom line of this is she said, well, now I have some information. I may order a special investigator to look into Leahy and see if we should proceed with contempt of court. That's the summary of it, Buck.
Okay, why do you think that these writings, and I'm a Nashville born and raised native, thanks for coming on. Why do you think these writings over a year after the brutal murder of 6 innocent people by this crazy trans person has not been released into the public domain in any way?
Well, that's a good question. The Metro Nashville Police Department have stated that it's still an open investigation. There's an exception, as you know, since you're an attorney, Clay, you went to Vanderbilt Law School, right? Did very well in law. Before you did very well in media, there's an exception to the Tennessee Public Records Act, which allows police departments not to release documents if there's an open investigation. Well, we're very skeptical that more than a year after there still is an open investigation. But that's the reason that these writings haven't been released, they say.
I mean, they're lying. What is
basically,
this is an open investigation. They just never want to close the investigation, so they're clearly abusing this. But also, the notion, I mean, if you work for the New York Times, no person with an IQ over 50 would think that a judge would be calling you and like, oh, you published something that I said is not allowed to be, spoken about or written about. It feels like the politics here are coming down on your head because the left doesn't want the truth of this trans terrorist coming out for the public to see.
Well, interestingly enough, Clay and Buck, we obtained some other documents legally that are not among the writings that the judge is reviewing in camera. That's her decision about what she's going to allow to be released or not. But one document, you may have seen this, a memo from the FBI, the Behavioral Analysis Unit out of Quantico, Virginia, sent May 11th, 2023 to the chief of police here, John Drake, that the subject line was protection of legacy tokens. Do either of you guys, have you ever heard the term legacy token?
No.
Okay, so it's a term made up by the FBI. And, Buck, you know from your days at the CIA how these guys work. The memo, the legacy token refers to a writing or a video or a social media posting left behind by a mass murderer. Because, you know, when there's a mass murderer, the FBI swoops in to the local police department and they take it over, basically, information flow. In this memo to Metro Nashville Police Chief John Drake, the FBI said, never release these documents because the public won't understand them. Pontificators and pundits will misinterpret them, and certain special groups might be hurt by it. I wonder who they mean by that. But wait, there's more. In that memo, you can go to TennesseeStar.com, and just type in FBI or hit the Covenant school shooting tab and see. They also said, oh, by the way, Chief Drake, there is precedent for the destruction of legacy tokens. They destroyed the basement videos of the Columbine killers back in 1999. Now, the FBI didn't say destroy these documents, but they said, oh, by the way, here's this precedent for destroying documents.
Now, we're talking about Michael Patrick Leahy. Encourage you to go check out the Tennessee Star. Couple of tight-end questions here. Have you published all of the documents that you have received at this point, or are there other things that you plan to publish? Second part of this, and this builds on what Buck said, generally speaking, anytime a journalist is threatened with punishment for publishing something that is newsworthy, the media all lines up in concert behind them and says, hey, what a brave steward of journalism this is. Let's go ahead and support them. Have you gotten any of that coverage or support from the New York Times, the Washington Post, the ostensible protectors of democracy? Democracy dies in darkness, after all, with the Washington Post. So is there more to come? And secondly, have the stalwarts of journalism and truth and justice in America lined up behind you as they oftentimes claim that they would do?
I'll take the second question first. No, nothing from the New York Times, ABC, NBC, CBS, CNN. They've said nothing about my First Amendment rights, nor, for that matter, have many of the local television stations. I will say that the Tennessean has said nice things, and Nashville Banner has defended my rights here. Most conservative media outlets have, in fact, defended my rights. Now, First Amendment rights. But let's go back. Is there more to come? Absolutely, there's more to come. We actually have not yet published any of the 80 pages that we have from the killer's writings. There's probably about 500 pages or so that's currently being reviewed by the judge. But I will tell you this. I have a lot more documents from the police investigation. I have many crime scene photos. We haven't published any of them yet. But we have the right to publish all of them, and we may in the very, very near term. I will point this out, Clay, since you're from Nashville. The police here in Nashville, and we've got documents to prove it, affidavits, subpoenas, et cetera, have known from day one of their investigation, March 27th, 2023, that Audrey Elizabeth Hale was under care of Vanderbilt Psychiatric Hospital, part of Vanderbilt University Medical Center, for 22 years, from 2001 when she was 6 years old to 2023 when she was basically 28 years old when she died. Also, I have evidence from the police file that mental health professionals at Vanderbilt University knew that she had threatened to kill her father and carry out a mass shooting and failed to follow in their duty to warn.
That is a big deal. One last question from me for you. I've heard that she was interested in shooting at multiple schools and may not have attacked those other schools because she saw armed security there and felt like there would be better response in terms of being able to protect the kids. Has your reporting uncovered anything of that nature?
Her parents were asked in a police interview in July of 2023 why Covenant. They didn't know. I can tell you from what I've seen, first, nothing untoward happened to her from any of our evidence when she was a student at Covenant School from kindergarten to fourth grade. And I believe the reason she chose Covenant, because it was a relatively soft target compared to some of the other targets, could have been Opry Mills or others, and she was familiar with it. That was really the only reason.
Michael Patrick Leahy of the Tennessee Star, editor-in-chief. Please, Michael, as this moves along, first of all, if you get any more heat, let us know so we can help get the word out, because I think your First Amendment rights matter, and I think especially in this situation where there's a lot of political pressure. And please let us know as you have developments in the story as well. We want to continue to follow this here.
Terrific. And if anybody wants to support us in our legal fees here, TennesseeStar.com/donate.
Thanks very much, Michael. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Clay. Thanks, Buck.
Thank you. There's a credit card company, Coin, that is our newest sponsor here. Let me tell you about them. Pronounced like a coin you'd hold in your hand. Spelled a little different, though. C-O-I-G-N. That's right. C-O-I-G-N. Coin.com. They offer a new and better credit card that supports our shared values as conservatives. Coin is a Visa-backed credit card and is America's first credit card built by and for conservatives. Created to advance conservative values and embrace the American spirit, unlike other leading credit cards that give millions to leftist causes each year, Coin is helping conservatives align their spending with their values. It's the only conservative credit card that allows you to pay with a purpose while you're earning rewards. Support conservative causes that you care about, and every time you spend, you earn 1% cashback rewards. The Coin card donates a portion of every transaction to conservative causes and charities. Last year, ready for this? They donated more to conservative charities than the top 10 credit card companies combined. Sign up now for America's conservative credit card at Coin.com. That's COIGN.com. Be sure to select Clay and Buck in the How Did You Hear About Us section on the website. Coin.com. Terms apply. Go to COIGN.com/disclosure for full details.